We can't keep using what we're going through as an excuse to be shitty to people. That's the other half of the equation. I get you dealing with that. I get you lost this person. I get you are dealing with this at home. You feel me? I get all of that. But that doesn't give you a right to mistreat other people because you're dealing with those things. A lot of people have to do. A lot of people have to deal with certain things alone, and they go through it for a really, really long time. Because it takes a really long time to overcome some of the stuff that we go through. And so they rather deal with it by themselves and be to themselves than drag other people into their pain and their depression and their anxiety and their loneliness and their tears. And all. They rather just be to themselves than to drag somebody that they love into that, because they know how heavy all that shit can be. So I'd rather protect you from that so I can deal with it by myself. So how do you spot people that don't give you grace? How do you spot the people in your life that aren't willing to give you that grace, basically? Is when you start having those human moments, pay attention. When you start being your true color self, right? Of course, hopefully you're being yourself when you meet anybody, but there's a certain version of you that becomes unlocked even more as you get comfortable with a person. And when you start being that person with them, right? And they're not loving you the same. They're not treating you the same. They're not giving you that same patience and energy that they were giving before. Be careful with that person. Because something about you being the authentic you bothers them. And I don't know if I want that type of person in my life. Stop making it all about you. That sometimes when a person is distant, when a person is dealing with something, when a person makes a mistake, when a person isn't clicking how they usually are, somehow, some way, we always find a way to make it all about us. And we think that certain people are doing things to us intentionally, when in reality they may have been dealing with something or growing through something or trying to figure out something or just having a hard day. And that ain't got nothing to do with you. So when you talk about what does grace look like in real time, it's realizing that even though what they did, or even though what happened, or even though their actions impacted me, that maybe the reason they did it, or maybe the reason it happened, maybe the reason a mistake took place is because they dealing with something that's bigger than me. Because I'm going to be honest with you, man. You need people in your life that give you grace and that understand and that are patient and that love you truly unconditionally. Because there are going to be some days and some months and some seasons and hell, maybe even years of your life where you're just struggling, where you just fighting to make it. And for every person, the reason we struggling, the reason we going through stuff, and the reason we not showing up as our best self, and that we even are asking people to be graceful towards us in the first place, it may be different for every one of us. This person could have lost somebody that they love. This person could have just lost their house. This person could be dealing with financial trouble. This person could be going through a very rough breakup. This person could be getting abused behind closed doors. This person, you see what, like, we could all be going through so many different things in our life. And there's going to come a season in your life where you're going to just need a village of people or a person, right? You would love to have multiple people, but at least a person. In every facet of your life, your professional life, your personal life, right? Your spiritual life, they give you grace. I wish more people understood that for a person running a business, for a person being a creator, for a person being an artist, for a person being a thinker, a leader, a community advocate, whatever you are, I wish more people understood that they're doing their best. That the season you may have met them in or last saw them in, where they were thriving and they were on point and everything was getting done and they were on top of every single thing, and that's the person you loved and admired, they might not be that same person in the next season when you see them. But they're still doing their best. They're giving it everything they got with what they got. And I wish more people will remember those seasons in their lives when they were just doing their best. Not just with entrepreneurs and creatives and business leaders, but with people in general. I think that's so important. Man, that we all just doing our fucking best. Having to separate yourself from somebody because you realize that they were never patient and kind and graceful with you, that's a hard thing to do, because you're going to ask yourself, am I tripping? You're going to ask yourself, am I doing too much? But in reality, if you got people around you that always seem, because this is the thing, if a person is never willing to give you grace, then they're not being realistic with themselves. They're living in some type of delusion, because they're treating you, them always being so hard on you and never being willing to be patient with you and to understand where you're coming from. They're being so delusional because they're acting as if they never went through anything in their life where they needed the same type of love and attention and care and kindness and patience. They acting like they never needed that. But when the shoe is on the other foot and it's not them having to deal with it, they don't really give a damn. But I guarantee when they was going through it, they wanted somebody to be patient with them. And it's going to be hard to have to tell a person like that you may really love that I don't feel like I can be human with you. I don't feel like I can make mistakes with you because you always find a way to throw it back into my face. And that's a very unsafe place to be. Where I don't feel like I can be imperfect, because what am I supposed to be? That's why I was created. And so, yeah, you may have to take a couple steps back from a person that you thought you would never take a step back from. And it won't be because they did the typicals as to why you had to leave them. It might be because they weren't being graceful enough with you. They weren't being considerate of your imperfect and human moments. And like I said from the opening, man, I need people in my life that are graceful. Hey, what's up? This is uplift with SpeakUPZee. And I just want to take a quick second just to thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of SpeakUPZee Podcast. And my only goal with this platform is to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you around all things life, business, and mental health, whether it's myself or me bringing on a special guest. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We don't ask for any type of monetary gains or anything like that. The best thing you could do for us is just like and subscribe to the channel. Until next week, we'll see y'all later. Peace.